Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. If you've ever tried to navigate the personal loan world, then you already know it can feel like walking into a store with no price tags. Everything looks helpful, everything sounds promising, but you don't actually know what anything costs until you sit down, you hand over your information, and then you wait. And by the time you finally get the offer, you're already halfway committed. And that's the trap that many borrowers fall into, and that's what lenders count on. After spending years studying lending data and working with the lending industry and tracking dozens of national lenders across the country, I've learned exactly how personal loans really work behind the scenes. And more importantly, I've learned where people consistently get tripped up. So today, I'm gonna break down the best personal loans of 2026, and we're going to base that off of your credit score. We'll also discuss what to look out for before applying and how to avoid any hidden costs that catch people by surprise. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Before we get into lenders, APRs, credit score categories, there's one thing that every borrower needs to understand, and that's when a lender advertises super low APR, something like 6 to 7%, only a tiny percent of people will ever get those rates. Lenders love to showcase their lowest APR because it looks great on a homepage banner, but that rate is typically reserved for those in the top 10% of applicants. So that means borrowers with excellent credit histories, high incomes, and exceptionally low debt to income ratios. So for most people, the real APR is sometimes a little bit higher than what you see. So instead of asking what the lender's lowest APR is, I would recommend that you ask what's the lowest APR that you can realistically get. That's exactly why shopping around isn't optional, it's essential. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when applying is that they only go to one lender and they accept whatever they get. Many borrowers don't even realize that they have options. They don't stop to take a moment to actually look at who's going to approve them for what, even if the rate is terrible, because some of these loans are very predatory and they're just not worth having. That approval rush can be tempting, but if you don't compare multiple offers, you have no idea whether you're paying more than necessary. And that's where rate shopping tools like marketplaces and soft pull pre-qualifications will come into play. They also help you see multiple offers with a single soft pull, and this gives you a chance to compare real numbers side by side before committing to anything. And of course, I'm sure a lot of you know websites like this. You can go to like Experian. Sometimes you see it in Credit Karma. Sometimes you see it on the NerdWallet website. There's multiple websites that you can go to where they'll show you multiple loans. You put in your information and you can get all the rates at one time. Not to mention that most of the personal loans that I'm going to discuss today, they have pre-qualification tools that will only be a soft pull, so I highly recommend that you look out for those. Now with that said, let's break down the best loan options by credit score so you know which lender tends to work best for your situation and which ones you may want to avoid and how to get the most comprehensive rate possible in 2026. If your credit score sits in the excellent category, meaning like 720 or higher, then you're in the strongest possible position when it comes to personal loans. Now, lenders compete aggressively for borrowers like you because you represent the lowest risk and the highest likelihood of repayment. That competition will work in your favor, leading to the best APR, the largest possible loan amounts, and the perks that other borrowers don't receive. Now, among all lenders, SoFi continues to be the most compelling option for excellent credit borrowers in 2026. Their loans go up to $100,000. That's significantly higher than what many lenders offer right now, which makes SoFi a solid choice if you're financing major expenses like large home projects or you're consolidating substantial debts. SoFi offers estimated APRs ranging from 8.74% to 35.49% at the time of recording this video, and they offer repayment terms lasting 2 to 7 years. Borrowers can check their rates with no impact to their credit score, and while SoFi technically doesn't require a minimum credit score to apply, I do recommend having a higher score if you're interested in getting a personal loan with them. Now, a high credit score doesn't always mean that you get approved. I have an entire video that walks you through how to get approved for SoFi. I was approved myself for a $52,000 personal loan with them. So if you're interested in learning how I did that, then I'm going to link that full guide right here for you to watch. Another standout in the excellent credit category is Discover. Now, Discover offers $2,500 to $40,000 personal loans with a 7.99% to 24.99% APR. There's no origination fee, they can fund very fast, and they have direct creditor payments in flexible 3 to 7 year terms. They don't allow for co-signers or discount rates. Personally, I've applied for Discover myself. I've never gotten approved with them. Usually they say that I'm overextended, so it's kind of weird how you can get approved for some but not the other. However, I will continue to apply and see if I can never get approved. If I do, I will make a dedicated video showing you exactly how I did that. Next up, we have PenFed Credit Union. Now, they offer personal loans ranging from as little as $600 up to $50,000 with APRs roughly between 7.99% and 17.99% and repayment terms from 1 to 5 years. Now, what makes PenFed stand out is that it charges no origination fee, allowing borrowers to get the full loan amount, and the funding is generally approved very, very quickly. Because of its wide amount range and reasonable rates, PenFed is a solid option for people who need anything from a small emergency loan to a mid-size amount and want transparent, fee-free borrowing. With that said, PenFed doesn't list credit or income requirements for a personal loan on its website. However, the lender does say that it works with borrowers who have excellent credit, which is typically defined as credit scores in the upper 700s or higher. You can also get pre-qualification on the website. And just keep in mind, I didn't mention it for the other 3 loans, but all of these rates are subject to change depending on when you're watching this video. They may actually be lower going into the rest of the year, but you'll have to wait and see. Always remember to actually check the lender's website in order to see what the rates are currently at the time of watching this video. Finally, we have Citibank. Now, Citibank's personal loans offer a simple, no-frills option for borrowers who want an affordable, no-fee loan with predictable terms. Its standard loans run from $2,000 to $30,000 with interest rate APRs between 9.99% and 19.49%. Repayment terms are 1 to 5 years. Now, you can pre-qualify with a soft credit check to see your potential rates, and approved applicants often receive funds the same day or the next business day. However, Citibank's loans max out at $30,000, and the lender doesn't offer co-signed or joint loan options, and borrowers also can't choose or change their payment date, which may limit flexibility compared to some of its competitors. And honestly, the only reason why I put Citibank on here is because it does require you to have excellent credit. The other 3 options are way better in terms of what they're going to offer and APR. So it is my least recommended option on the excellent list. But if you do have a relationship with Citibank, you should definitely try to pre-qualify. If your credit falls into the good or fair category, which typically can range from, let's say, 650 to 690, you still have access to some excellent lenders and competitive rates, though your APR may be slightly higher than those in the top category. Now, good to fair credit borrowers often have strong repayment histories and consistent incomes, but their credit profiles may include higher debt balances or shorter credit histories. So I do want to point out, guys, like, please, if you're trying to actually get approved for these loans, if you do not have like the highest credit score, that's perfectly fine. But if you have like charge-offs, collections, then you're not going to necessarily get approved, okay? You want to actually check out my credit repair playlist in the description. You need to remove those derogatory marks. There's a difference between having a low credit score and having a credit profile that shows that you do not pay back. If your credit profile shows that you have a history of not paying back, it does not matter how high your credit score is, you are very unlikely to be approved. So I just want to make sure that I point that out because a lot of people sometimes wonder, hey, I have a 700 credit score, but I have this collection. Why am I not getting approved? That is the reason why you're not being approved. All right, now let's start with Lightstream. I have so many videos about Lightstream. In fact, after I record this video, I have another one coming out about Lightstream where I'm going to talk about how you can get the maximum amount for Lightstream. So that's probably going to be out maybe even before this video. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm probably going to link that right here. But Lightstream continues to be one of the most compelling options for good credit borrowers in 2026. If you want competitive rates, no fees, and the ability to borrow large amounts with loan options ranging from $5,000 to $100,000 and APRs between 6.49% and 24.89%, Lightstream offers some of the best terms in the market, including rate discounts and repayment periods of 2 to 7 years. And funding can arrive the same day, making this ideal for fast access cash. However, Lightstream has a high minimum loan amount, so it is very limited if you need a smaller one. They don't offer soft pull pre-qualifications, and there's no direct payment for debt consolidation. They also lack a mobile app for managing your loan, which may or may not matter if you prefer on-the-go account access. Now, I will say this. Lightstream is my favorite loan on this video, on this list. Currently to date, I recommend this over any other personal loan. Now, it didn't go into the excellent credit category, and for good reason. You don't necessarily need excellent credit to get this loan, but you do need to have at least, I would say, like a 660 to 680 credit score on TransUnion. They only pull TransUnion, and you do need to have good debt to income ratio. And unfortunately, you really can't have any derogatory marks. But as long as that sounds like you, there are great chances that you will qualify for this one. Now, one of the strongest lenders for good credit borrowers is First Tech Credit Union. First Tech Credit Union offers one of the most flexible personal loan programs available, with amounts ranging from $500 to $50,000 and APRs between 7.89% and 18%, with repayment terms from 6 months to 7 years. Funding is typically fast, and borrowers benefit from flexible payment dates, plus the option to apply for secured or joint loans. First Tech also provides hardship assistance for members who run into financial difficulties. However, the loan is only available to credit union members, and unlike some competitors, First Tech does not offer rate discounts or provide access to your credit score through the lender. Now, I have a video on First Tech and their credit card. It shows you how to become a member. I'm a member myself. I do enjoy this credit union, so I highly recommend that you join, get some history in with them, check out their credit cards, and then look at the personal loans. I think it is a very good option. Another strong choice for fair credit borrowers is going to be US Bank. Now, US Bank offers dependable personal loans ranging from $1,000 to $50,000 with APRs between 8.74% and 24.99% and repayment terms of 1 to 7 years. Borrowers can check their rates with no impact on their credit, and US Bank provides several appealing features, including an auto pay rate discount, same-day funding for eligible applicants, and the option to apply for joint or secured loans. There are no origination fees. The loan structure is straightforward, though benefits may vary for non-customers. And unlike some competitors, US Bank doesn't provide direct payment to creditors for debt consolidation. They don't offer hardship assistance programs or allow borrowers to change their repayment dates. Now, with US Bank, I've never had one of their personal loans, but I have a few of their business loans. And if the process is the same, I can say it's very straightforward. It was very easy to get approved. And just depending on how much you're asking for, you may or may not need documentation. Now, again, on the personal loan side, I'm not sure. On the business side, it depends on the amount that you're asking for, whether or not they will require that. From what I could tell, it's different. It's going to depend on your credit score, your profile, your debt to income ratio. So if anybody has any information about that or data points, or you've had a US Bank loan, please drop that in the comments below. I would love to hear about your experience. Now, to close out this list, we have Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union offers a flexible personal expense loan designed to cover both planned and unplanned expenses, ranging from auto repairs and moving expenses to vacations and major purchases. And they have loan amounts as low as $250 all the way up to $50,000, with funds that can be deposited directly into your checking or savings accounts. Now, at the time of recording this video, the rates are tier based on repayment terms, with APRs from 8.74% to 18% for terms up to 36 months and 10.69% to 18% for terms between 37 and 60 months. It's a straightforward option for Navy Federal members who want simple financing and quick access to funds. And like some of the other loans on this list, I have an entire video about how I got approved for $40,000 with Navy Federal's personal loan. On that video, I talk about how I was denied multiple times, and the funny part was getting approved for the Lightstream loan was actually the reason why Navy Federal approved me in the future. So I highly recommend that you watch that video. I'm going to link that right here. I believe YouTube has a limit of how many videos that I could link. So unfortunately, if I can't put the link right here, go to my channel. There's a magnifying glass. If you go to videos, just type in Navy Federal personal loan and you will find that video. If your credit score is below 620, you are in the most challenging category when it comes to personal loans. While approvals are still possible, the APR will be higher and the loan terms may not be as favorable for those offered for borrowers with excellent or good to fair credit. Now, in this category, it's essential to be extremely selective and make sure that the loan you choose is genuinely worth the cost. Let's start with Universal Credit. They offer personal loans tailored to borrowers with lower credit scores, making this a very useful option for those focused on debt consolidation. While loan amounts range from $1,000 to $50,000 and APRs can be between 11.69% to 35.99%, it's accessible to applicants with scores as low as 560, and the borrowers can check their rates without affecting their credit score, which is also good. And the terms can run from 3 to 5 years, giving borrowers a structured path towards paying down debt while rebuilding their financial profile. Next, we have Lending Club. Now, this will be a strong option for borrowers with low to fair credit who want flexible repayment features and debt consolidation support. Now, with loans ranging from $1,000 to $60,000 and APRs between 7.90% and 35.99%, Lending Club lets you pre-qualify with a soft credit check and offers same-day or next-day funding. You also have repayment terms from 2 to 7 years. Borrowers can add a joint applicant, and they can use direct payment to creditors for debt consolidation and even choose or change their payment date for added flexibility. The main drawback is the required origination fee, which does increase the total cost of this loan compared to no-fee lenders. Moving on, let's talk about Upstart. Now, Upstart is designed for borrowers across the credit spectrum, so you can actually have bad credit or excellent. They use alternative credit data to help applicants with limited or non-traditional credit histories qualify. Now, it does offer loan amounts from $1,000 all the way up to $75,000, with APRs ranging from 6.70% to 35.99%, and funding often arrives the same or the next day with repayment terms from 3 to 5 years. Now, I do have an entire dedicated video to Upstart. I recommend that you watch that video if you want more information about this particular lender. Upstart does also provide a secured loan option and a wide borrowing range, making this one accessible to many types of borrowers. However, it does charge an origination fee and it only offers 2 repayment term lengths, and it doesn't support joint or co-sign applications. It also lacks direct payment to creditors for debt consolidation, which may or may not matter if you want a lender that can handle the payoff transfer for you. And last on our list, we have Best Egg, and Best Egg offers personal loans between $2,000 to $50,000 with APRs from 6.99% to 35.99%, making this one a solid option for borrowers with fair to bad credit who want structured mid-range financing. And Best Egg also offers repayment terms from 3 to 5 years. Now, this lender provides secured loan options, which is kind of interesting. They also have fast funding and direct payment to creditors for debt consolidation. And Best Egg also includes free credit score monitoring for borrowers during repayment. Primary drawback are its required origination fees and the lack of co-signed or joint loan options, which may limit flexibility for borrowers who want to apply for something else. Now, I have an entire video that talks about the best loans for bad credit. I highly recommend you watch that video if you want a comprehensive guide of like just these types of lenders. It is very good and it walks you through a few more options than the ones that we have here. Interest rates get most of the attention when people compare loans, but fees can be just as impactful. Origination fees are common among lenders that serve fair or poor credit borrowers, and while origination fees are included in the APR, they can still affect how much money you actually receive. So just be aware, if the lender charges a high origination fee and deducts it from your loan amount, you could end up with less money than expected. Another fee that borrowers rarely consider is the late fee. A single late payment can lead to an immediate charge that equals or exceeds that month's interest. Some lenders, especially those that target excellent or good credit borrowers, do not charge late fees at all, but many others do, and the cost can add up quickly if you're not consistent with your payments. What is far less common today is the prepayment penalty. Although lenders still advertise no prepayment penalty as a key feature, almost all mainstream personal loan providers have removed this penalty entirely. That means that you can pay off your loan early without being charged, which is particularly useful if you plan to make extra principal payments to eliminate your debt much faster. So many people often assume that credit scores alone will determine how much they can borrow, but again, lenders look at several factors when deciding your loan amount. Your income, your monthly obligation, your debt to income ratio, and your employment history all play a significant role. Even borrowers with excellent credit may be capped at lower loan amounts if their income doesn't support a larger monthly payment. It's happened to me with the 800 credit score. Trust me when I say it can happen to anyone. The single most important thing to remember is that personal loans are never a one-size-fits-all product. Every borrower has a different financial story, and every lender evaluates risk differently, and this is why comparing multiple loans before applying is essential. By comparing multiple offers, you get to see which lenders are offering you the lowest APR, the best repayment terms, the least amount of fees, and the fastest funding, all without hurting your credit score. Even small differences in APR can add up to thousands of dollars over time, especially on larger loans with longer repayment periods. So in a lending environment that continues to evolve year after year, the smartest borrowers are the ones who understand how to leverage competition between lenders to their advantage. And if you are in a space where your credit is bad right now, always consider the option that it may not be good to get a personal loan, or you may not qualify, and instead you want to look at options to fix your credit score and increase your income, and then maybe double back to the personal loan at a later time. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Personal loans can be a powerful financial tool when used correctly, whether you're consolidating high interest debt, or you're covering an unexpected expense, or you're financing a major life event. Selecting the right personal loan and the lender makes all the difference in the world. Discover and SoFi excel in servicing excellent credit borrowers with larger loan needs, while Lightstream, Navy Federal, and First Tech offer dependable options for good to fair credit borrowers looking for fast funding and predictable terms. And things like Universal Credit, Best Egg, Upstart, they're a great place to look if you have a lower credit score. Again, remember, comparing as many lenders as possible is the key to protecting your finances and avoiding any unnecessary cost. The more you understand the lending landscape, the more confident you'll be when making a decision that impacts your financial future. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and you guys have a wonderful day.